I guess we're pretty well overwhelmed by this. I had no idea this gathering was going to be quite what it is.
We were faced with the possible extirpation, or worse yet, extinction of one of the world's most charismatic species, and it was all in our hands. Tonight we are recognizing 3 individuals that epitomize the passion and dedication of those that worked to save this bird. With only 22 birds left by the summer of 1982, the chance for failure was about as close as you could get. To pull together a group of people to do this would take incredible leadership, intuition, physical and mental strength, passion, and hope. Helen and Noel Snyder have a long history in bird conservation. They are considered the quintessential example of true field biologists. I think it would be safe to say that without their unflinching passion and commitment and energy, there would be no condors flying in the skies of California or anywhere else today. Helen and Noel, your encouragement, leadership, and passion helped save this bird for all of us. For this, we will be forever grateful. Thank you.
Just a quick reflection on the history on this. I think it's interesting that several of us who were involved in the discovery of the first lead-poisoned condor are here tonight. Jesse's one of them. John Schmidt is here. John watched over that condor carcass through the night. We only got to it just at sunset, but we wanted to really work over the crime scene, you might say, because we didn't really know what had killed the condor. I remember that in discussing it among the 3 of us who were working it over there, the idea of maybe lead poisoning. That was the first well-documented case of lead poisoning. Of course, there have been innumerable cases since then, and very fortunately, we have seen a bill passed in the legislature now to ban the use of toxic lead ammunition in condor range. This is a tremendous achievement. We owe a great deal to Pedro Nava on this. It might seem like a long time coming, and you might say the first case of lead poisoning came in 1984. Here we are, what is it, 24 years later. By some standards, that would seem like a long time. I thought it was a terribly long time, but by many other standards, if you look at comparable achievement of control over pollutants, contaminants, and whatnot, it often takes a long time to get these things, get a consensus in the public so these things can happen.
This bill was named the Ridley-Tree Condor Preservation Act. Lady Ridley-Tree, would you please stand? You cannot help but be moved as you see the efforts that are taken to protect and preserve this bird. And you can't help but feel your heart break a little bit when they have to surround the condor and 4 people have to grab it, 1 has to hold its beak, and you stare right into the eye of that bird. A bird that soared over the land in the Pleistocene era, when there were saber-toothed cats on the ground and woolly mammoths. No other opportunity do we have to look that far back into the past and to realize how humble we have to be because of where that bird takes us and what it represents to our future. And there's a constellation of things that came together for which I was so grateful. You have no idea how happy I was when Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger unveiled the Condor Corridor. Because I knew, I got you now. I knew there's no way you're walking away from the Condor because you have wrapped your arms around the idea of California's Condor and put it on a coin. forever be able to make the argument that condors belong just not on the back of quarters, but in the air in the wild. The legislation passed, but the governor wasn't going to sign it. The signals were very clear to my office that the opposition had dug in, that the resistance from a certain part of the community was opposed to the bill, and the governor would not sign it. What happened? All of you, you're what happened. Your letters, your phone calls, your faxes, your emails, your communication on the blogs created a tsunami of support so that it got to the point that the governor could not afford to not sign that bill. It was you grassroots armies of supporters who persuaded the governor of the greatest state in this country with a population of 37 million people, an annual budget of $140 billion, that protecting the condor by signing the bill was the right thing to do. You did it, ladies and gentlemen.
They asked me if I would talk for a few minutes, and I tried to think of what I could say that would make it reasonable to understand why so many people work to save this bird. And I looked back and thought about a few people I've talked to recently who have said to me, you know, when I was working in the 80s, it was the most exciting, most demanding, and most rewarding time of my life. And I thought, that's so very true. It really was an amazing time. And I wondered what it was about the condor that really captured so many people's imagination and let them, as Jesse said, put in 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day to save the species. He decided this. He said, for me, the heart of California lies in the condor country. And for me, the heart of mystery, of wonder, and of desire lies with the California Condor, that majestic and almost legendary figure which still has the fastest scissor bar lessening wilderness. And a little later he concluded, I am not ashamed to have fallen in love with so gentle a group. And I thought back about all the people who worked with the condor, and I think that maybe that's the answer to why they work so hard. I think they all fell in love with the species and were determined to save it.
I want to express my appreciation to everybody who was involved with condors in 1980 when we were involved, as well as everybody who's still fighting for the bird today. Thank you.